I'm going to do about 10 questions, and then I'll open it up for Q&A.
Okay.
First question is, what led you to start your business in the fiber world?
Oh, okay. We started, let's see, it kind of goes back probably since I've been married, and I've been married almost 19 years, 18 years. And I came home one day, I taught reading in an elementary school, and I came home one day and I told my husband that I wanted him to buy me an embroidery machine. And he was like, well, how much does that cost? And so I told him, and he was like, well, I'm not real sure that we can do that right now. I mean, we had been married like 6 months, and because we still had college, loans and all that stuff. And he was like, and for one, you don't really sew that much. It's like, you want this? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to embroider, and I'm going to make purses. And this was back, when the purses were, it was all that upholstery fabric.
Yeah.
Tassels and all that stuff. So anyways, I did what every newlywed should not do. And I went to my mom and I said, Mom, I really want the sewing machine. And she said, I'll go to the bank with you. And so there I go. And I get a loan for this sewing machine. I paid that sewing machine off in 2 to 3 years. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was a tiny little payment and I just embroidered and sewed for people and paid it back. And it was fine. I would not give that advice to my children. It did not go over well. Did not submit to my husband's authority right in the beginning. But honestly, ever since then, he said, I will never not encourage something that you want to do. And so that's the reason I share that with you to start with, that part of the story. So fast forward 10 years down the road, and he buys me my next really fancy sewing machine. And he said, I'm happy to buy this one for you for our anniversary gift. And so a couple more years go by, and then I actually had an embroidery business for 15 years. And as I had 5 children, and as more kids were born, people in our community just knew if they dropped it off on my porch with instructions, I would monogram it, embroider it, whatever they wanted on it. And then I would text them, tell them when they can come back and pick it up. And so I did that for a very long time. Finally, we had our 5th child, and I said, you know what? I think I just want to take a year off. Like, I don't want to monogram anything. I want to just take a year off. So I did that. And when I did that, I knit all the time. I've always been a knitter. I've knit for 20 something years. But so I fell in love with indie dyed yarn, and a stay-at-home mom with 5 kids. I can't buy all the indie dyed yarn I would like to have. So our anniversary rolls back around, and I said, I want a wholesale order of undyed yarn. And he says, you want what? And I was like, I want undyed yarn, like just straight from the mill. And he was like, okay, I have no idea how to do it, but go ahead. I'm not there again. I believe what you're saying. So I did not buy that yarn thinking I would ever sell it. I bought it thinking I would have this stockpile of yarn that when I wanted hand-dyed yarn, I would dye it for my projects and blah, blah, blah. So the kids and I had a lot of fun. We dyed yarn for probably a year, I guess, just for myself. And then on a trip to Montana to see my family, we do all the little yarn shops in the area. And so the owners were like, you really should sell this yarn. And I was like, I don't know. But they kind of gave me the nudge, which is kind of why we named it Big Sky Yarn Co., because they kind of gave me that push. And then of course we ended up moving to Montana and then moved back to Tennessee. But they kind of just gave me the encouragement to do it. And some of our colorways are named, for places we love in Montana. So anyway, that's really how it started. I called Bliss Yarns in Nashville, and I said, okay, Deb, I'm doing this thing, and if you don't want me to do a trunk show, I totally understand. And she was like, no, let's do one. And so we just went from there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your colorways are gorgeous. Of course, we can see what you've got behind you.
Oh,
we do have some of your yarn in store. We've got the Squish DK. So we've got like Georgia Pine, and let's see, Red Lodge,
We should play a game. Like, I know which ones you're holding up so far.
Oh yeah, okay. Here we go.
Just kidding.
Big Sky.
I was say that's Big Sky. Is that Merlot back there?
It is. Yep. So we've got Merlot. And
That is either, oh, that's Holly Jolly.
it is. And then we have this one.
Is that Crunchy Leaves?
This one is Sleigh Ride.
Oh, hell, yeah. Oh, I got one wrong. It looks like a fall when we have called Crunchy Leaves, too.
You know, when you do so many, I'm sure, I mean, you know, it's got to run.
If you guys saw my recipe book, it's atrocious. It gets wet. And it's just a, you know, like a 10-cent composition book. It's awful. My daughter's always like, I don't understand how you can look at that and understand anything that's a recipe. I'm like, I totally know. And I don't have to worry about anybody stealing my colorways. They can never read the book anyway.
There you go. When you just have to put it in code.
Yeah.
Safe. All right. So question number 2.
Okay.
What is your current work in progress?
Plural.
I know, right?
Works. So I about twice a year we'll do a test knit. I try not to do too many because, you know, the deadlines start making me have like heart palpitations.
Yeah.
And so, but I seriously have like 5 project bags right here because I thought you guys might ask that question.
That's how I think a lot of us are.
Yes. And I don't know if it's just being at home, but I keep casting on more and more things. But I can kind of show you guys part of this. This is a new summer top coming out are you guys familiar with Kate Oates' design?
I am not personally, but I'm sure some of us are.
She lives in South Carolina. So, well, hold on, I'm tangled. She has great designs. They're very classic, kind of timeless. But anyways, I'm at the top, but it's a little summer top. I can't really show you all of it, but I can tell you that it's a V-neck. But I wanted mine to be real summery, and I don't know. I had plans of wearing it with, like, you know, shorts and sandals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that, and then that's the only test knit I'm doing. But then I'm also working on, have you guys seen the Lady Fingers knit along?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Very nice. Ooh.
I need to switch to bigger needles. I'm really scrunched up there right now. But they're all occupied, so I have to bigger needles.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't know if you can tell. This is Sundays are for napping. This is Devil on My Shoulder, Pecan, Camp Out, and then of course Tennessee Whiskey. And you guys, Tennessee Whiskey is just like, I put it in everything, I feel like.
It's so nice. It's just such a great color.
So it's found its way into that one. And then I'm also doing this. Lady Fingers is going on through May 20th. I don't know if I'll finish mine by then. But I'm doing the Mother's Prayer. No, a Mother's Prayer. I have to shut my eyes to think. A Mother's Prayer shawl, and it's a knit along, and I'm doing it for my mom for Mother's Day.
Oh,
so I have, this is Isabel and Flamingo Betsy. That's what the pink is. And it's, and then my daughters started a little stitch marker company, and there's one of their little stitch markers.
Cute.
But anyway, so I have one more section on that. And those are really, oh, I can show you this one. Where'd it go? I'm loving this one. And this one keeps grabbing my attention. And I have no business working on it right now with these other things. But this is is it Crystalist Shawl by Lavanya. Have you seen that one?
I'm not sure. Ooh.
I just really love brioche, and I kind of like to have brioche going on most of the time. And so it's with the Syria alpaca.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah. And I don't know. I love it until my nose starts itching. Then you put it down for a little bit. But anyways, but yeah, those are kind of what I'm working on right now. I've got probably 3 pair of socks that are in my purse, but I'm not going anywhere, so socks are not getting worked on. So
yeah, they do tend to be our travel projects.
yeah.
All right. So, what project other than I think knitting have you tackled in quarantine?
My daughter's closet. They share a closet. I avoid that like the plague. But I have helped them go through their closet. Let's see. We cleaned out our garage. Been a lot of just like home stuff. Just
that's what's been going on in my neighborhood. Every time I take my dog for a walk, there's a new pile of something that somebody's getting rid of.
Yeah. We right at the very beginning of this whole thing, we moved into our studio where I'm sitting right now. And so for the first 2 weeks, it was actually kind of nice to be home because I wasn't running to sports practice or anything like that. And I had actual time to get everything in here and, figure out how it was going to work and make sense and all that. So it was kind of nice at first. So it still is. I'm not complaining,
I mean, yeah, it can be tough, but we're being asked to stay home. That's not so hard.
I know. Yeah.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Listen, cereal's my thing. Okay.
Oh, it's like picking a favorite child.
Yeah. So actually, I'm trying to do this keto thing, and actually, I named a yarn color Keto on Monday because I feel like every week I'm like, oh, I'll start keto on Monday, and but I would have to say, my cereal choices have changed over the years, but I think the one that has always stood the test of time would be Honey Nut Cheerios.
Good choice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That's a classic.
It's a classic. So, I mean, but listen, Captain Crunch all berries.
Oh yeah, I could get into that.
But that one you have to put in vanilla ice cream.
Oh my gosh. I had never even thought of that.
Do it. Do it today. Yeah.
Do you have pets or a spirit animal?
I do have my mom is an Australian Labradoodle breeder. So I have a little Australian Labradoodle, and his name is Dooley. We are huge Georgia Bulldog fans, and so we named him after Vince Dooley, their old coach from years ago. And so he's precious. Yeah. And my mom has live puppy cams if you're bored. You can go to MontanaSkyLabradoodles.com, and you can watch puppies, and you can watch puppies being born and all the puppy live feed.
That's helpful. Okay. Yeah. What is one thing you hate that most people love?
This one, I don't know. Actually, when I got your list of questions, I texted my husband real fast. I said, hey, what do I hate that most people love? Like, I'm the glass is half full kind of person. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a tough one. I think I would have to say,
I mean, like these days, if I had to say something like that's driving me crazy, it would be that everyone is talking to me at the same time, like.
I'm not sure anybody likes that though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like everything I hate, I think most people hate. Like I can't, I don't know.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you going to go first after restrictions are lifted?
Well, I was supposed to be in New York last week. My husband, for my 40th birthday will be in June. And he was so sweet. He was going to take me to the Brooklyn Yarn Crawl, which was last week.
Nice. That's
So I would like to say that I'll go back and go see New York, but I don't know. Definitely a sushi restaurant, like immediately. That would be what I would say.
yeah. Yeah, I've been missing that too. You have a good one around you?
Oh yeah. And honestly, my favorite one delivers. So we've been cooking every meal except Friday night. We look forward to our Friday night, and we get usually Asia Garden. It's called Asia Garden. We get sushi on Friday nights, but it's kind of not the same. Like you like to go and be there.
Yep, it's the experience too, not just the food.
Yeah.
Great. What is the best room in your house and why?
This one. It's detached. This one, because I can hide in here. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, obviously I love my family room. I love to be around my kids. That's like the answer. If I truly had to pick a family room, a favorite room, it would be there, because that's where we all are. We bought this gigantic couch, y'all. We look like a bunch of cats. So there's 7 of us, and when we were looking for a couch, I said, I'm just tired of chairs and then the couch, and everybody fights over the couch, and then people in the chairs can't see the TV. So we bought, it's ridiculous, this couch. It looks like Shaquille O'Neal's couch. So I would say my family room is my favorite. I knit there all the time. But then, obviously I like to come out here because this is where the yarn is. This is where the magic happens.
Absolutely. And I think when you have 5 kids, it doesn't hurt to have a retreat.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely that.
What would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
Honestly, my life it's not too different. I homeschool my kids, and so we're kind of used to being at home. We do get together with 5 or 6 other families every Friday, and we do class together. And so I know I would be doing that. We would be having our field day. All my kids play some kind of sport or activity. I'd be a taxi driver, like I normally am. So,
yeah.
But like cooking, I still cook all the time. Most things are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband's work schedule is a lot different, but yeah.
Yeah. What is an activity that never looks cool?
An activity that never looks cool. A pogo stick?
That's good. That's good. That's kind of a strange question, but a pogo stick is good.
My kids have been attempting to jump on a pogo stick, and every one of them looks ridiculous. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. My sister had one. She didn't look good on it either. She looks good doing most things, so
So we should make that our goal in life. Look cool doing a pogo stick.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Other than yarn, do you have any collections?
I do. I collect fabric. No, I do collect thimbles. My mom started a thimble collection for me when I was younger. So everywhere we went, we would get the little thimbles of the places you've been. And so I try to keep that up just because I think my girls like to look at them and stuff like that. So yeah, I still have a thimble collection.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And last question, do you have any phobias?
Snakes. And I've been dying with my doors open out here. Most time when I dye yarn, I like to keep the doors open, just let the air, the breeze in. But I know it's only a matter of time. We're in the South, y'all.
Oh yeah. One of my parents' cats like to bring they're only about that long, little green garden snakes. My sister has that same phobia. She could not handle it.
Oh man. Well, our neighbor, we went for a walk on Sunday afternoon, and she was just digging in her little bed around her mailbox, and she said, I just dug up a whole family of baby snakes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. So what I'll do now is I'm going to unmute everyone and see if you guys have some questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's see where you are. There you are. I enjoyed your story about how you got started with your yarn dyeing.
Yeah.
Basically, somehow that you got some undyed yarn, and the next thing you were talking about was going to Bliss Yarns, and they're saying you should sell that. So in the interim, in the middle there, how did you actually figure out how to do it?
Oh, how to do it? Okay. So I love to research things. Like I enjoy the process of, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but last month when Blueprint did those, you know, for the whole month, the classes were free. I would do laundry and dishes, and I'm just watching people learn to do stuff. So that's what I did. I just, I got on all the YouTubes I could get on. There's some books for yarn dyeing. But honestly, the way you learn to dye yarn is just to do it. Like, just figure it out. Make the dirty brown yucky yarn, because everybody's going to make yucky dirty brown yarn. Because if you don't, you know, it's, you kind of have to cook them in a process, because everything, if they don't set and then they all blend, everything goes to mud. So yeah, I just trial and error and lots of just researching. And then, I reached out to some other yarn dyers and just said, hey, what do you do? You know, how do you get this? And how do you do that? And I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah. Well, your yarn is beautiful. So
Thank you.
You obviously learned a lot. I'm
Yeah.
working with it now.
Oh, awesome. I think because I learned without the pressure of thinking I would ever sell it, I do think that was, I don't know. I think that was easier. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't buy it with the intent of, oh, I got to turn this around and make a profit. Because a lot of yarn dyers get started with, they see it and they think, oh, I want to do that and help support my family. I want to be a yarn dyer. I went at it as more of a, just like you would knitting. Like, it's just for enjoyment, I guess, to start with. It makes sense to me. That may not make sense to anybody else.
Sure.
So do you still sew at all?
I do. Actually, I've been sewing a little bit during the quarantine. I mentioned that. I'm trying to tackle a king size quilt for my bed.
Oh, wow.
I'm making 12 by 12 blocks. I wish I had a couple of them out here. So anyway, I'm trying to make like a block a week. So, yeah.
Lauren, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the sweater you have on? It looks beautiful.
Thank you. I have on the Cipolla. It's a Caitlin Hunter, pattern, and it's I don't know. It goes pretty fast. It's a fingering weight. I used Sanford, and I can't remember what this one was. This was part of our Southern Belle collection. It's like a coral red. I'll have to look that up.
You're very pretty.
Thank you. That's going to drive me insane.
Okay.
Cassie, when you were in Maryville, we talked about your national park series.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that again?
I am, and I have something really
good.
Yes. In about, I think it's on the calendar for the 1st of May. There's something coming out they'll be really fun with the national parks. So we're kind of upping our national parks game. For the summer.
Okay, great.
And it might involve some sewing, so.
Will that be on your website?
Yeah, it'll be around. It'll be on Instagram and stuff, and it'll be available
Okay.
if she wants to bring it into the shop. She can do that too.
Okay.
It can. So most of yarn dyers put that on there because we can't really be responsible for your washing machine. Because you really might not believe the questions that get, or things that get sent in the email box. So yeah, like, I mean,
Okay.
use your discretion. I mean, like, wash it on Gentle Cycle.
I just finished Metropolis with your chunky that you dyed for me in Bozeman,
Yeah.
and it turned out really nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like
Is
I
that
like
the
the
one
chunky
you
way.
girls were doing all together?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I
So
have that.
I like the chunky way.
Has anybody started that, the throwback cardigan or the throwback, what is she calling it? The throw over? Is that what she's calling the new one? The throw over? Andrea Mowry.
Throw over, yeah. A lot of us made the throwback cardigan.
That's what I had in my mind when you said that. Because
Yeah.
it's on my list to do. Did it go quickly?
Not for me so much, but for other people, it did.
Things go quickly for other people. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm looking for this
have it.
color that I'm wearing on my phone. Because it's driving me crazy that I can't remember it.
We have a question from Paige. Her Zoom is kind of lagging a lot, so she texted me her question. She says, "Is Tennessee whiskey still available?" And also, she designed a swan show with your Swish DK.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Yes, Tennessee whiskey. It's kind of, I mean, we kind of keep it all the time. Yeah. Girls, it looks like this is barefoot.
Ah.
Barefoot.
Barefoot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The Southern Belle collection will probably come back around. It's really good for summer.
Mm.
A lot of beachy vibes. So, what are you guys working on? I kind of want to know.
I'm doing a sweater for my nephew. He's 4 years old. It's the flax pattern by Tin Can Knits. You know, it's just the free pattern, but he loves, loves, loves orange, so I'm striping orange in there with the brown.
That's awesome. I love that pattern.
It's so easy.
I
They
have
just-
one on my needles for my 15-year-old son, but he's 6'6", and so Sleeve Island is like a deserted island that you'll never get off of.
So do you have a favorite designer that you like?
I knew somebody would ask that. I mean, I have some that I gravitate towards. I guess last year I made probably 5 or 6 Caitlin Hunters. I love Marie Green. Of course, Andrea Mowry, you can't go wrong. I've made several of Kate Oates, the one that I'm doing the test knit for. First of the year, I'll be working with More Thunder, this girl. So pretty excited about that. Who else do I love Hohi. I love her. And Isabel Kramer. I mean, like, I don't know that I have like a favorite. Like, I mean, I think they're my friends. They're really not my friends. But you know what I mean? Like, when you knit their patterns, you're like, oh, I love them. The more the merrier, you know?
Well, Cassie, I'm doing the silver leaf shawl. It calls for sport weight. And I'm using your sport weight. Let's see. Super Sport in Whispers in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's just beautiful. But I just wanted to say that the stitch definition is just beautiful. So you've
Oh,
got
thank
it
you.
really nicely, tightly plied, I guess, right? It's really nice.
Well, thank you. I knit that pattern for my mom a couple years ago, and it wasn't in my yarn. And so funny. She goes, what do you want me to do with this? She goes, I don't want to wear it. It's not your yarn. I was like, wear the thing. Like, that is ridiculous. And that lace pattern, well, that's at the end. The leaf part is at the end of the shawl, right?
Right. Haven't gotten
I
there.
rem- I made it for her for Christmas, and I kept trying to watch Christmas movies, and I could not. So that was one of those, like, when you get to that lace, because one side mirrors the other side, and so I remember that one being like, gosh, I can't watch TV, like, to pay attention. But anyway, I can't wait to see that when you're done.
Okay, I'll post it.
Okay.
Did you have a lot of festivals that you were going to this spring and summer that have been canceled?
I did. We was actually
Has
trying
any-
to. We let's see. I missed Blairsville, Georgia, and I missed Atlanta. Those were supposed to be first weekend of April.
Uh-huh.
And then in 2 weeks, the weekend after Mother's Day, I was going to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and that got canceled. And then the next, let's see, so I missed three weekends worth. And then I had, I have some scheduled for June and July, and I just don't know if we'll go.
They haven't been canceled yet?
Not yet.
Mhm.
So I really think we'll end up doing the one in July, but maybe not June.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Where's that? Where's the
July, June will probably most likely be going back to North Georgia. July is, I have to close my eyes because I can't do two things at one time. August is Pensacola. July is Irmo, South Carolina. And that's in that same trip, we're going to Friends and Fiberworks in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Y'all want to see what's beside me?
I hope, yeah.
Racks and racks and racks.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So I get to do this today. I've got to go make sure everyone has done all their responsibilities, but then we get to do all of this today. I should have moved it. Now I can't prop it back up. There we go. So it's really nice. We had them put a drain in the floor of the doghouse, so it's got concrete floor, and then we had it treated like you put that stuff that people put in the bottom of their garages. Anyway, and then we had them cut a drain in the bottom, so when the yarn drips, it goes down that drain and out outside, which is really nice.
That is really
That's nice.
Yeah.
Cassie, I have a question. Do you have any yarn with glitz? This is for Sue Chapeau and I. This is a question for us.
Glitz?
The magpies.
Sparkly.
Oh, yes. I have sparkle yarn. Yes. I have gold and silver.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I love the sparkle yarn because like in the big box stores, you can feel the little stellina, whatever, you can feel it, but in the real wool stuff, you can't feel that. And I think it's amazing that it's there, but you don't really know it's there.
Well, maybe you'll be able to travel soon and come back to Maryville.
Oh, I would love to. My kids had so much fun going to Dollywood. They're like, can we please go back to Dollywood?
They haven't decided when they're going to open Dollywood yet.
I heard that. We had some friends buy season passes, and I did hear that they, they're going to, I guess, make them be, valid June to next June. Are you guys going to be kind of nervous when everything just opens back up?
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll probably stay at home.
All right. Well, any more questions? Looks
Hope
like
to
maybe-
see you soon.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
See you
This was so
soon.
fun.
Yeah, this is great.
Like,
And
you gave me a reason to get out of my pajamas. And
No, too. I actually took a shower and put.
I know.
I'm wearing a
Like,
bra
if you
today.
guys, do a Zoom-
Well, I didn't go that far.
I cut my own hair today.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. You can find Cassie's yarns, of course, at her website, bigskyarnco.com, which will take you to an Etsy site.
It is. That's a question people ask me all the time, and I'll go ahead and just answer it right here for you real quick. So the reason I continue to use Etsy is everyone says, oh, Etsy fees are so high, blah, blah, blah. Etsy provides a lot of services that pay my taxes for me.
Right.
So because I'm primarily a wholesaler, it really makes filing my taxes easy. I don't have to then go to the state of Tennessee and file this, 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 and this. So I can hire an accountant and spend that money, or I can let Etsy do it. And so for right now, I let Etsy do it. So everyone says, why do you pay those extra fees? I'm like, somebody's going to get my money somewhere. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
why not make it the easiest way?
Exactly. And this is by far the easiest way. I only meet with my accountant quarterly. And I mean, I see the world in color. I hate numbers. Ugh. Well, thank you guys for having me today. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Well, we'll see
Okay.
you soon.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.